not only is Hunter Biden, okay, the laptop clearly exists. Remember Russian disinformation? 51 intelligence officers say, no, bullshit, doesn't exist. Russian disinformation. Turns out, A, it exists. We know that it exists because it was brought into evidence during Hunter Biden's drug. Here's the article from Politico. This is when the New York Post reported that they had the laptop. Then Politico, so the New York Times, New York Post reports that they have the laptop in their possession. Then the 51 intelligence officers release a statement stating it's Russian disinformation. The laptop doesn't exist. Then Politico then writes reports spreading that information, misinformation, telling people that it didn't exist by these 51
Look at all these people. By the way, those aren't really dark people. Those are just people that they don't want to show their faces.
No, yeah, wow, really odd. Not one single minority among them.
Oh, isn't weird. Odd? Just all white people.
Just a bunch of me. Just versions of me.
By the way,
and Connor.
every single one of these people looks like a deep state, disgusting swamp creature. Look at the guy in the bottom right. Wise. Look at him. You look like a freaking bulldog.
Yeah, so these are the 51 traitors who lied and said the laptop didn't exist. Then it turns out the laptop clearly exists because it gets introduced as evidence in a federal gun trial of Hunter Biden. So the laptop exists. We know that it exists. We know that the 51 intelligence officers lied when they put the letter out. But then it comes out this week. Oh, we could show this. This is showing the character of the person that the 51 intelligence officers lied. They put their reputation on the line for that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That's the guy that also happens to be on the board of Burisma, one of the largest privately owned natural gas companies in Ukraine, well, his father was vice president.
Yeah, by the way, go back. Show this one, too. Show this. Rob, I walked in on Rob was looking at this today.
Well, because I'm trying to get into that kind of shape.
Yeah. Well, and then Humberto, go back.
This is an important point, actually, that I think is worth mentioning. What? Why is Hunter Biden in such good shape? Why is he actually a good-looking guy? This dude smoked crack for like 30 years every single day.
Well, that's adrenochrome. That's adrenochrome. But Humberto, go back to that.
How is he in that good shape?
Go back to that photo. The other one, the crack one, and then let the okay, guys. This is the president of the United States' son. Okay, he's a crack-smoking, degenerate piece of shit that records himself with all these girls. Some of them allegedly they look underage. He's weighing crack. He's doing all this shit. He's on these boards of Burisma. He's making all this money. He's selling paintings for hundreds of thousands of dollars. If anybody ever talks shit about any of the Trump kids, you can go to hell. I'm not saying they're perfect. I don't even know them personally. I met Hunter. I met Don Jr. once, and I met Eric, and I met Ivanka. Is it Ivanka?
Yeah.
Guess what? No comparison to this piece of shit. And it all goes back to the father. Rob, take it.
Yeah, so it turns out that the people that put their reputation on the line to lie for Hunter Biden, it turns out, yes, they put their reputation on the line. It also turns out that 4 of them were paid contractors for the CIA at the time that the letter was written.
Shocker.
So the letter is designed by former acting director of the CIA, Michael Morell. Michael Morell was one of 4 former CIA intelligence officers that were currently paid contractors. And the paid contracting, when you're a paid contractor for the CIA, you're making between $90,000 and $100,000 a year. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money, but it is $90,000, $100,000 of our tax dollars that could be going to something else. But we're actually going to pay to this guy, Michael Morell, who then goes and creates this document with the 51 signatures in order to discredit Donald Trump during the debates from talking. The whole reason that he actually created this letter and he testified in front of Congress was to distract and help counter Donald Trump's talking point that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's foreign dealings. So the guy who writes this letter, who then gets 50 other people to sign off on it, was being paid by the CIA when the letter was fucking written. And nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
Isn't that crazy to you?
Yeah, you know why? Cut to it. What do you think about that, Josh? Cut to it on that thing. What you think, Josh?
I mean, it's the par for the course. Again, I mean, you're looking at a situation. Yeah, it's the president's son, but you know who the big guy is. So everybody CIA people, they are probably put under so much pressure that they have to throw away life, career, all these different things, or they can just sign right here. And it's a shame, but this has just got to happen more and get on talked about more on bigger scales for it to finally stop.
But this guy is literally, guys, untouchable. Nothing ever happened.
Come on, guys, they are treating him fairly, though, because he was just convicted of a felony, which means he's being fairly investigated by the DOJ,
how much prison
right?
time? Yeah, how much prison time?
Yeah, but what about the I mean, I don't know what the drug laws are, but I would assume smoking crack is against them. I've seen marijuana legal in a lot of states. I've never gone to Colorado and they went, you want to go to the crack store? It's legal for recreational use now.
If the libertarians win, we'll have that.
Yes, but it's not
until
right
then.
now. I also am pretty sure banging whores illegal unless you're in Nevada. So that laptop filled with evidence that also implicates Joe Biden and the 10% to the big man for the Chinese investment firm that Hunter Biden worked for before Burisma. So it's like, not only are they not untouchable, but it's also, pull up this evidence if you could, Humberto. These are declassified documents that are getting released that show these are 4 people that were they were all yes, no. Who was the no? Nick Rasmussen, no to Mark Palmer, and no to John Brennan. But Michael Morell and David Buckley were both contracted with the CIA directly through October 19th of 2020 when the document came out. And by the way, when we talk about election interference, it doesn't always involve people with ballot boxes and in the middle of the night or mail-in ballots. No, election interference could be as simple as this document being signed by 51 intelligence officers. 79% of Americans, according to Pew Research, believe that had this come out, and it had been proven that it actually wasn't Russian disinformation when it came out and that it was authentic, 79% of Americans, almost 8 in 10 people, believe that Donald Trump would have won re-election in 2020. So you have your motive, you have your key players, you have your evidence, and yet nothing comes of it. But it literally changed the course of the 2020 election. Before we even get into the actual cheating, there was election interference, and nobody's doing shit about it.
But Rob, election interference is another cool way of saying cheating. When you have 51 FBI agents at Twitter at the time suppressing every story. Can you imagine that? They acted as a filtration system to not let anything hit Twitter, take down everything, make all these stories go away. If that's not cheating to the American public, that's another level of cheating, because guess what? The ballot harvesting, all that shit definitely happened. You know what I mean? All the news, all that fake shit. Trump was right about all of it. They cheated all the time. Dude, if you stop stories from, if you're an embezzler, all right, and I'm in charge of all the news and I don't let it happen and we're running for a race, that's cheating, bro. That's information that the public they have to know. And it's coming from the FBI. Wait a minute. You guys, Biden wasn't the president, right? Think about it. Biden was just running as an ex-vice president. How's the FBI working for him? Do you understand what I'm saying? The FBI was working for the Democratic Party because they want them to win. So that's why when I say the FBI's biased, and I have FBI agents going up to me, I don't know his name, I don't want to put him on blast, but there's an FBI agent that comes to these events. He's like, hey, man, like, dude, we're not all bad. I'm like, I understand, but where's the lot of you coming up and saying something? I'm not saying all of them are bad, but I want a gang. I want a gang. Like when Peter Strzok, that piece of shit, was during the Russian collusion thing. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Anthony McCabe, who's another scumbag dork with glasses. Where were all the supporting cast going, hey, guys, you can't do this shit. You fucking swore an oath, all of you. And if he's watching this, you swore an oath. If any of your colleagues were there and they witnessed it, shame on them. All right? Because that's not, by the way, we're not in I hate when people go, that's third to democracy. We're in a constitutional republic. Stop saying that shit.
And it's not like we're a democracy either. Like our Congress isn't having our back. And the whistleblower's lawyer from on Tucker Carlson just said that the FBI is now asking as a question, not to get security clearance, did you vote for Trump? Yes
That's
or no?
for them to get in.
To get a security clearance. So if you to get a security clearance, you have to say that you didn't vote for Trump.
And to your point about the FBI, okay, so the FBI was also somehow rooting for Democrats or leaning Democratic during the 2020 election. And now we clearly have evidence that the CIA was too. So when people question, is there a deep state? Well, how much more fucking evidence do you need?
Rob? How much deeper do you need to get?
And that's when you look at it and you go, and it actually doesn't take a whole lot of bad characters. It just takes really powerful bad characters in a few places to be able to control these narratives that then you have information being censored, you have election interference, so the only good thing is when you look at 2024, hopefully I'm not brainwashed. That's what I go back and forth with, because I see the too big to rig and I go, is it? Because I feel like it is. and I'm hoping that that's just not me being dumb and falling for more propaganda, because I've clearly fallen for it before. Challenger, 9/11, like I could Iraq, Patriot Act. I've fallen for it all, but now I'm seeing it. I'm going, okay, is it too big to rig? Is there any way that they could now Twitter's free? They can't censor those stories because Elon owns it. It seems like shit has fallen so bad in this country that the majority of Americans have woken up. I don't think that they can get away with it again in 2024.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I think they're going to do something.
You really don't think that?
No, I think they're going to do something crazy. I think
get away with it
something
every
crazy
year.
is going to happen before the election. But I don't know. I think that the whole deal they make with this stuff is that if you're controllable, you get the world and you'll never get in trouble like the Clintons and like Hunter. But if you buck against the system, then they come crashing down on you. So I mean, that's really the transaction that's made. It's as simple as that. Because I mean, there's a million things you could point to with either the Clintons or Obama or Biden that could easily put them in jail. But everybody looks the other way, and not only do they look the other way, they protect them. But Trump, they've turned over the earth to find the most minuscule thing on him to get him. And anybody like the My Pillow guy too. Anybody who goes against the system,
it's wild. But you know what though? I would never give up the stance and the point of view. And if God forbid anything happens to me, career or voice or band or I don't give a shit.
yeah, you're selling your soul.
You're damn right. And how much if your price is not your life, James O'Keefe, then you are for sale. And I'll be damn, bro. I would rather die free than live as a slave.